friends, it's been a while, but today we have a craft video. So today we are making My Little Pony sweatshirts, although you can do any toy slash any image at all that you want, as we will see. We've got this, so we can see it's a purple hoodie with a pony on it. And then the second one, I went a little extra, and it's this. So if you're interested in making one of these, continue watching. Let's get started with some materials. You will need a shirt or other fabric item that you want to put your image onto, or as you'll see me do, just a piece of fabric, and then you can later attach that fabric to something. Another important thing you'll need for this is a printer. I don't own a printer. I usually print stuff at the library when I need to, but you'll need a special paper for this that you probably couldn't use in a library printer, so find a friend who has a normal printer. My friend was Angela. And maybe the most important item, mine is out in the living room and I don't want to go get it, but pretend this is printer transfer paper. I think that's what it's called, printable transfer paper. Basically it's a product. You can buy it at an office supply store and also probably a craft supply store that you put into your printer. It prints an image and then you can then iron that image onto a piece of fabric. And then basically an iron and scissors and stuff. One note, something I'll be returning to several times in the video, is you can get the printer transfer sheets for light fabric or dark fabric. I've actually got one of both. This one I used a light fabric transfer as I put it onto white fabric. It's a lighter image and the background is clear. And this one I used a dark transfer just because I didn't want the color of this to interfere with this, and we'll investigate later. No, I'll talk about it now. So some bonuses of this one is the color's a lot brighter. You can put it onto anything. It's basically the background of this is white and the picture's on top of a white background, whereas the other one, the background is clear and then it's just the colors with no white behind them to like brighten them up pretty much. As you can see, I didn't cut out this part here and it's white. Some negatives are you need to cut it out really well, or it needs to be the kind of image you can cut out very precisely, or there will be a white part. This is just me being dumb, but there were parts of the paper backing that were hard to peel off, so I just left them, and now you can very clearly see there's some paper stuck under there. And also I found this one was easier to overheat by accident, and it got a bit funny where it got heated too much. But basically all the problems that I had with it are me being lazy in the application, so I'm sure you can do it. Alright, so the first step is, I guess, getting your shirt or whatever, or your plain fabric. I found this sweater at Value Village. It's very plain. I'll put some kind of design in the middle. And I thought a pony because that's what I did on my other printer transfer shirt. That's my thing. So if you want any 80s toy image in general kind of thing, the main problem is finding an image that's like a high enough quality that you can print to a certain size. So just kind of hunt around, go on Pinterest, go on Tumblr, search for your pictures. Obviously you shouldn't use anyone else's artwork without their permission. These are just the official My Little Pony images, so I felt fine about it because they sell them on shirts for thousands of dollars. And then my favorite resource while doing this was the Pony, I keep wanting to say Polly Pocket, the My Little Pony fact file. Basically they have a bunch of high quality scans of the My Little Pony fact file, which is a book that was available. And I went through that and I just kind of picked my favorite colors, and that's how I chose the one for my purple sweater, and it has a compass on it, and I'm a geography student. And then the second one, they have coloring sheets, and I took one and I digitally colored it. I don't need to hold it up again. Digitally colored it using some colors that I thought would look nice with my sweater, so it's very personalized. I wanted to fill up the whole sheet because if you're using the sheet to print out one picture, didn't want to waste it by having a lot of white space. So I just found a lot of smaller pictures that I liked, and I figured I would put onto something at some point. Angie also did a sheet, and she put them onto plain paper and then made little patches out of them. So that's a good thing you can do with the little ones that fit in the extra spaces. I just did a bunch of little ponies and stuff, and I'm figuring maybe put them on like pockets or bags or something. Here is a spot where the light and dark transfers are different. When I was doing the purple sweater with the dark printer transfer, I was doing it with my mom. We were like, oh yeah, we need to flip the image because it'll print out and then you need to like flip it over when you iron it, so that like if there are words or anything, they won't be backwards. But we did it wrong. With the black ones, You don't need to flip it, or at least the brand I had, because they apply, you peel the back off and they kind of apply like stickers. But the white ones we didn't flip, and they did need to be flipped, so all the things we printed with words on them are backwards and we couldn't use them. So basically just read the instructions very carefully and try to figure out whether it will print and turn face down or go straight down. And then before we printed out on the fancy transfer paper, we just printed onto regular paper to like make sure the colors were working, that the sizes were good, the quality looked fine. It's a balance of like you don't want to waste colored ink, but you also don't want to waste the sheets, so. And then we printed on the transfer paper. Then we just cut everything out with a small border, since the border doesn't show up, or if you're using the dark ones, cut them with no border because the border will show up. And then it's time to iron according to the directions. Definitely don't want to over iron it. Do a couple passes, see if it's stuck, do a couple more, yada yada. This round we just had a sheet of white fabric and we were like, iron them all onto this, then we'll figure it out later. But if you've got a shirt, you can put it straight on the shirt, bam, you're done. Because I put it onto the white fabric, I had a month worth of ignoring it until I finally actually sewed it onto the sweater. So yeah, you can be done at this point if you did the easy way, but if you wanted a more complicated design, like I did, I put my pony onto the fabric, I cut out a circle using a bowl, and then I laid out my sweater. No, I put on the sweater and held it up to make sure it'll be at like a good height and stuff. Then I pinned it in place, hand sewed it on with the lace underneath, partly because my sewing machine is broken, and partly because you want to make sure everything stays flat and lined up right and stuff with something that'll be so prominent. Oh, I had a few notes on things I would have done differently. Obviously, make sure you flip it if you need to. When attaching my circle, I realized I would have liked to had fusible interfacing on my white fabric so that it would be sturdier on here, but you can't iron it once you've added the image, so I would have had to add the interfacing before I added the image. Did not do that. Or I was thinking if I could have used my applique material in any way, but you have to iron it on. Yeah, you could applique the piece of white just onto your sweater and then iron the image onto the applique material. So think ahead with if you're doing that. So that is the project. It's very simple, but it's very personalizable, which I think is fun. When we first discovered these things, when I was like 10, I took photos of all my pet birds and just like boop, 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 put it onto a blue shirt. I used the wrong kind. It was a dark blue shirt and it was the kind for white fabric, so it was like very dark because there was no contrast added in. And I thought I was very cool because I was like, this shirt has pictures of my pets on it. Yeah, so I hope I described the pros and cons of the two different kinds well enough for you to decide which one to use. Oh, I guess I'll try it on for you if you wanna see. Putting it on, I'm not sure if I would consider it done. I don't like how this is sticking out. It feels bibbish to me, but maybe that's because I posted a picture of this on Tumblr and someone asked if I wanted a daddy and now I feel like a baby. But I would like to just kind of sew this down so it's flat. And then I'm thinking like some bows somewhere or something, just to like give it some more stuff to look at. And this is the other one, if you cared. Bet you could have guessed that's what it looks like. I printed out a My Little Pony logo for this one, but it was backwards, and then I printed out another one with this most recent batch, and it was also backwards. That's that. Talking very quietly because it's now 1 AM. Bet you couldn't guess from the way I've excellently lit myself.